Hello and welcome back to the channel, and today's the 15th of November 2025. The weather's about to start changing over the next couple of nights, so I thought I'd take the opportunity today while I've got a little bit of time to dig up a couple of the tenders. Mainly the Ensetes are going to come out today. I think I'm going to have one in the house if it's not too big. I'm not sure how big the trunk on this is. If I can get away with getting this in the house or the smaller one, then I will. If not, they're both just going to be stored in the greenhouse. If they get through, they get through. If not, they'll need replacing next year. So we've got this one, which is a couple of years old now. And if we can see down low, it's getting a decent trunk on it. But I'm not too sure how big that pseudo stem is going to be and whether it's going to look bigger once I dig it out. I think and try and find an appropriate pot to put it in. What I tend to do now though is when I'm potting it on, I actually just wash off all the soil, put it in a big enough pot with no soil whatsoever, and dry store it that way. And then I find the roots still start to grow with no soil the next year. And it just means less chance of any rot setting in. And yeah, it usually works for me, that. So that'll be what I'm doing with this one. And I'll have a quick walk around the garden and see if there's anything else that I need to dig up. I don't have a lot of time today, so I'm just going to try. This might be a bit of a rushed video, this, or just snippets of me cutting in and out of what I've done. Like this Colocasia Metallica is still looking really good, but I think I'm going to chop it back. I'm going to mulch it. I just stick a pot over the top, and I'm going to chance that one out because I've got quite a few already smaller ones that's in the greenhouse now, and they'll be my backups if this doesn't survive. I did do the same last year. I didn't mulch it too well and it didn't make it, but this was one that a runner popped up on, so technically it did still make it, but they're not the main plant. This was a runner that I obviously missed and it's popped up on its own, so it can get through. And I'm going to try a little bit harder this year, mulch it a bit better, put maybe a couple of pots over it just to stop any water getting through, and hope that I can keep the main corm of this. And if not, I might have another chance with some runners next year. This Salvia convertiflora now really leaning over. I'm not going to bother with this today. I think we'll just leave it for the frost to knock it back, and then I'll cut it back. Still leave it as long as I can, but I think this time next weekend, with the lower temperatures, we're going to get down to maybe around -1. I think it'll knock a lot of plants back anyway. So this will be one final look at the garden. Middle of November. There's still plenty going on, but yeah, this week's it'll change, and I'll not see any of the garden between probably now and next Saturday. With the Musa basjoos, we'll see how time goes on. I may protect some of these today, I may not. This first clump, the clump closest to the greenhouse, they're going to stay as they are. I'm just going to let them get frosted back and leave them. I'm not going to bother protecting them at all. The ones just behind, I'll cut off all the leaves, use the land drains, try and retain some height. The idea is, from the house, I don't want to look at as many land drains this year. And I'm hoping the Arundodontax there kind of does hide it a little bit anyway. But yeah, if I can avoid looking at so many land drains and polystyrene pipes, just be a bit better. I think on the next monthly tour video, this Tetrapanax will have probably lost all its leaves. If there's too many prolonged cold nights, that'll start to lose its leaves. But it's still looking nice for mid-November. It's been a very mild year. Been very wet last couple of days, so I'm expecting when I start digging up, getting mud everywhere. But yeah, let's get on with it. See you in a second. So what we've done then is I've removed everything that's in front of it. I've cut back the Canna Bird of Paradise, the Salvia Amistad, just to allow a little bit easier access in. The Canna Bird of Paradise just down here. That one will be getting dug up and brought into the greenhouse because it's one I definitely want to keep and not risking leaving out. Now we're going to attempt to dig this out and see how we do, see how we get on with this. I've got a couple of pots, I think, not sure what size they are, maybe 25 litres, something like that. I've got my old bread knife to cut back the leaves, and if needed I've got the hori which will just help me cut back any of the leaves. Generally though, the bread knife is more than good enough. That's probably what I'm going to use. So what we've done then, I've cut all the leaves off, I've dug it out. It does weigh a surprising amount, that. I've just wrestled it out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wash off all the soil from around the roots. I'm going to tip it upside down. Then it will be going in a pot after I've trimmed the roots back. To be going in a pot to air out for a couple of days. And then I'll decide then whether it's going in the house or keeping it in the greenhouse. While I was at it, I've dug out the Canna Bird of Paradise and done a fantastic job cutting through the irrigation. So I'll have to put a stop on the end of that. Luckily it only went for about another couple of foot anyway. Before that, it was where the irrigation terminated, so it's not too much of a problem. I hadn't even noticed till I saw one cut end and was like, where's that coming from? So, little accident, nothing we can't overcome. So I'm going to get the hose pipe now, rinse all this off, and next time you see it, it'll be lifted into one of the pots. So for now, while that drains for a few minutes, I think I'm going to just crack on, dig the other one up. I think it might be a similar size. I'm hoping slightly smaller. May get away with getting one in the house if I do. But you can just see how much leaves have come off that. They were still looking really good actually when you cut them off. Better than when they were on the plant, to be fair. But these will all get shredded up, thrown back on the beds, probably where it's just been dug up from. Enrich this soil as much as I can. Needs a lot of composted manure over the winter, this does, to really give this bed a good kick on for next year. I never get amazing growth, so it'd be nice to enrich this and get a bit better for next year. But it's going to be a little bit bare in here for overwinter. The salvias will get cut back. I should hopefully then be able to see the Schefflera rhododendrofolia that's in there, if we can just about pick it out. That'll hopefully be more visible over the winter months. So probably by the next garden tour in a week or two, the November garden tour, that might be more visible. But for now, there's not going to be a lot going on in this bed. Right, I'm going to crack on with the next one. So this one's pseudo stem, is quite a bit skinnier and not as tall as the other one, but it still does fill this 25 litre, I think it's 25 litre pot. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get them in the house, let them dry out a little bit more, and then because it'll be a bit drier obviously in the house and warmer, let them dry out for a few days, then probably transfer to the greenhouse if I can get away with that. I'm going to try. So what we've done, chop the top roller back. As you can see, it might continue to try and grow for a little bit longer, but as soon as this cold temperature is just going to put a stop to that anyway. And I've chopped a lot of the roots back on both of these. And last year I didn't actually manage to get it through in the greenhouse, so it's touch and go whether they'll get through in the greenhouse this year. But they're cheap enough to buy, so if they don't make it, and I've got two of them, so even if I just get one through, I'll be happy at that. So that's them done, and I'll be putting them, I put them in the house now. I think I might as well, I'm here, temperature's going to start to drop, so I might as well just protect the growth point on this Gunnera. And I'm hoping next year that this Barinda kicks on even more. Obviously we're a new division, only put it in early spring. Sent out plenty of new culms, but they were all really skinny and, as you can see, not super tall. But I'll not do anything with that this year. Just keep all that skinny growth, and in a couple of years when it's got some nice chunky culms on it, then I'll chop out all the skinny ones. But for now it needs as much energy as it can get. So that's this corner. So we'll see whether or not another Ensete goes down here next year. And if it doesn't, then I potentially don't even really need two. So I'd be quite happy with just one coming through. So for now, I'll cut back some more stuff, have a wander around the garden, see if there's anything else I need to bring in. No doubt there is, and I'll probably forget something. And this video could be a bit of a mishmash of me just chopping and changing what I'm doing. It's starting to rain now and losing a bit of light, but we'll get done what I can. So then what we've got here is an absolute mountain of Musa basjoo leaves. These all need chopping up, shredding, throwing throughout the bed. But for the minute, I've just chopped them down so I can carry on doing what I'm doing. This may or may not get done today. It's not too much of a problem leaving them here. I don't want to leave it too long. They just start to go all slimy and horrible for cutting them up. The fresher the better, to make it easier to chop up. But what that's left us with is a nice clump of trim back Musa basjoo. You can see as I step over them. Left to, I don't know, the tallest one's maybe about 7 foot, something like that. And these ones are the ones that I'm gonna protect with a land drain, and then the ones behind I'll clean up. Well, in fact, I might just leave them, but quite a lot of snap leaves through the heavy wind. But them ones are gonna stay as they are. They're gonna look after themselves over winter, and I'm only gonna protect these ones. So I'll go get the land drain. I'll show you them on top. Not going to go too in depth. I did a video last year on this where I protected all of them with the land drain and they all came through beautifully. But I'll just show you what they're going to look like with them on, and then I'll move on to whatever the next job's going to be. Right, now as you can see, I've used 3 land drains. These are rigid land drains, these are that I've got. And then I've used polystyrene insulation pipe that I got from work last year. I used this last year. I just perforated it with a screwdriver or drill or something. Just popped a load of holes in it just to allow circulation. And then where possible, I've put an old upturned plant pot or bucket, whatever I've got. Still need to find a few more because there's a couple that I've not managed to get a pot on yet. But as you can see, it's got plenty of holes all the way down it, and they go all the way around. And just doubled them up where necessary. I've not got enough to do all of them, but I can potentially get some more if I want to protect a couple more, because there is a biggish one, you know, 4.5 foot or something here, which ideally I'd like to protect that one. It's slightly bigger than just one of these polystyrene pipes. I could do with 2 really, or cut it down, which is what I've done with a couple, just to allow them just to get underneath, just so I can get them in one tube rather than 2. And then this is how I'm going to leave the other one, and we'll see how they get on side by side over the winter. I mean, even if these were to completely collapse to the ground, I mean, look at the size of these now. These are absolutely massive. So yeah, I've no problem whatsoever sprouting from the base and really going for it next year, so I'm not too worried. Like I've said before, I don't really want to see all these pipes from the house, because these will now stay on till March time, maybe April. I'll probably try and get them off for March actually, but it's November now, so it's a fair few months of seeing these, so the longer I can keep them off the better. And then I've just got a couple of things just ready to put in the greenhouse. So this is a bit of an unknown hardy begonia, or supposedly hardy, but I've no idea what the name of it is. And it's in a pot, so I'm going to put it in the greenhouse. And I've got a couple more of those now, divisions, and I'm gonna trial one outside, put all the rest in the greenhouse until I've got even more, and then I can put them in different locations around the garden. What else is going to go in? There's a pot of xanthidea. The greenhouse currently, big mess, will not look in there. I've been having a lot of housework done and I've been storing stuff like a shed, so I need to empty that now rest of the day to get my plants in. But this pot of xanthidea, which is trying to flower again, that's just going to go in just so that'll stay evergreen in the greenhouse. So I might as well. I know it is hardy, but to keep it evergreen, it's definitely worth it. So then when I go in the cold winter months inside the greenhouse, I've got something nice to look at. I'm just gonna have a quick wander around, see what else might want to go in. You can see the rheum has completely gone now. I've just thrown its own leaves over it for no other reason than that there was literally covering all this area. There's some little evergreen grasses and stuff in here, which you know, they need some light. They'll be fine all year, so uncover them. But it's looking it is looking a little bit bare this time of year now in this section. At some point I will be covering the Boutia odorata. It's not quite cold enough for it yet, and I've not got the time today, but I will be putting a canopy over that again this year. Just wherever I can, wherever it's small enough, I might as well protect it. The can of Russian red just to the side and in front, I'll leave that to get cut back to the ground, and I'm not going to dig that up. I could do, but I'm not going to bother digging it up this year. Yeah, I'm not. Oh, just look at all these. There's so much I need to cut up. So I'll just show you what I did with the gunner, but there's not much point in documenting that. There's plenty of videos out there how to do it. But I've just done the same as everyone else will have done, just chopped off the leaves, turned them upside down like a teepee, and that's all that'll get for winter time. But yeah, this area is looking quite bare now, but it's really showing off the beautiful stiff green leaves of this Trachycarpus nova. I'm really impressed with how that's grown this year. Only went in the spring when this bed was made, and I'm sure in the coming years that's really going to rocket away, and I'm looking forward to that. Pond's had a good top up with all this rain we've had in the last 24 hours. Again, I need to get round here and just clean up, but yeah, I'm rambling now. That's not what this video is. So at some point this Butiagris area Spertha will be going into the greenhouse. It's not going to be going in just yet. I don't think the temperatures are cold enough to warrant me dragging this in just yet. It's going to be an heavy lump. So no but rain for the last day or two. So, and the temperatures maybe 0, -1. It should be okay with that temperature. I don't want it to get too much prolonged freezing temperatures, but I think it's warming up after a couple of days. So if I can hold this out till December and keep enjoying it until then, because it does, as you can imagine, it does take up a fair space in the greenhouse. Now what I normally do is I'll tie all the leaves up, but then it makes it taller, but it just means it hasn't got such a spread on it that I can actually get in the greenhouse. And to be honest, I do need to tidy the greenhouse out before everything goes in, so I need to make that a bit of a priority job in the next week or two, hopefully. It's got a light in there, so I can turn it on and get in on an evening and try and just clean it out a bit. Just empty anything that's accumulated over the summer months and doesn't need to be in there, and just actually have it for overwintering my plants. But yeah, this will be staying out for another week or so before I bring that in. I'll probably not show any of that, but you'll just notice it's gone on one of the tour videos, and it's still not cold enough to be protecting my tree ferns yet. You know, -1 for 1 or 2 nights, and then daytime temperatures picking up. That's not enough to worry me. I know some people might be wrapping theirs now and stuff, but I just don't think it's necessary. They're still looking absolutely beautiful. They're only brief cold spells before daytime temperatures picking back up, and the less time I can keep these wrapped, the better, really. Just looking at lovely and damp, lovely dark brown trunk today. You can see the growth. It's done well over the last couple of years, and I'm hoping next year the newest one kicks out a few more fronds and looks equally as beautiful. Right, so we're just in the greenhouse, and I've put a couple of bits in now. As you can see, it needs a good tidy out, but I've not got time today. But I've just emptied some of the building materials out and make it an actual greenhouse. So I've brought the Ensetes in here to start drying out, and as you can see, there's Antidecia, plenty of different cuttings and stuff that I've taken for next year, a propagator at the end, and then what we've got, I've just got electric radiators, what I used last year, electric panel radiator plugged into the BioGreen thermostat, and that's really accurate. So I've got that, and I've set it currently to 3 degrees. Now I don't know whether that's going to be warm enough. Last year I had it at 2 degrees, and I did lose, everything survived except the Ensete, but that could have been for a number of different reasons. But we'll try it again this year. I am actually going to take them in the house. It's a bit warmer, but not today. I'll just I've just had a big delivery and more stuff that's just gone into the house where these will sit. So until they're gone, it'll be a couple of days to get the work done. These will then go in the house, dry out a little bit more, then come back in here, hopefully drier, to help them get through winter. But I think for now, it's been a bit of a rambling video this, and I don't know, it's going to be very higgledy-piggledy of what I get in it. But I can't really see too much else at the minute that I need to dig up. So no doubt there will be, and I can see over there I forgot to do the Colocasia Metallica. So I'll end this video and I'll wrap it up by doing that and have another quick float around the garden. And if I need to, I can add it to the video if I need. But yeah, it's going to be a long rambling video now. But so as you can see, there's not too much currently changed. The Ensete has lost a big gap there. As you can see, is the size of the leaves. Some good sized leaves on them, all to be shredded. But currently, until these frosts come, it's looking still quite nice. I expect by the next video though, quite a bit will have been hit back to the ground, and that's when I can start doing my mulching and smarten the garden up a little bit. I'm not going to be removing any waste from the garden. Anything's just going to be cut up, chopped, and then thrown back into the garden, and then I'll put a nice heavy mulch over everything once I've bought that. But yeah, I think that'll do for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.